You're listening to an exclusive interview from the G-List Society. G-List Society. Featuring your host, Wadey G. Check out this one and more at www.glисtsociety.com. Also, check us out on Facebook and Twitter at the G-List Society.
Hey everybody, it's your girl Kelly Price, and I am rolling with my folks at the G-List Society, so I hope you are too.
Kelly.
Hello. Good afternoon. Good morning, actually, for where I am.
Oh, you're in L.A.?
Yes.
Oh, great. Well, I'm glad to have you, glad to be speaking with you, and I want to say congratulations on your new single, It's My Time.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Very excited.
And I'm excited about it, too, because ever since I listened to your song, it's been, I say one of my 10 songs that I have to start my morning with because it's just such a positive, motivational song. And I wanted to know what that song meant to you and how did you go about just recording it and putting it out as a single?
Well, the song actually, when I wrote the song maybe about 2 months, maybe a little more than 2 months before my 40th birthday. And really with being reflective about life and with 40 being a milestone birthday, you kind of, for me, it was a time to really reflect and think about my life overall as not just as a professional, but as a person, as a wife, as a mother, as a daughter, just as a human being, and thinking about misses and hits and things that I've done right and things that I've not really done right, and figuring out that the formula to life really, nobody's ever going to come and hand you anything, and I've never really believed that. But when you think about people who are really successful versus people who seem to never really be able to have any success, I think that the greatest difference between those people are that the really successful people make a decision that failure is not an option. They tell themselves that it's their time and they don't accept anything other than that, and they do whatever is necessary to achieve their goals. And they just, and I really believe that. I feel like if you make up in your mind that whatever you're after, I'm going to have it, and no is not an option, and failure is not an option, and you plan it out, and you do all of your research, and you make all of the right steps, and you work an actual plan, I feel like there's nothing that's not attainable. I feel like there's literally a principle of life that operates in the earth, and it also operates inside of people. If you plant a seed in the ground and you work that ground that the seed is in, and you do all the right things, and you water it, and you get it just enough sun, and you feed the soil so that the seed is in proper conditions to grow and have, have a good plant come out of it or a good harvest come out of it, it's not possible that won't happen. And life is the same way. If you gather everything that you need and then put everything that you're supposed to put into a thing at the right time, the right amounts of it, there's no way possible for it not to be successful. And so that's really a long, extended way of describing what It's My Time is about. I believe that anybody can achieve success, but there is a formula for success. And you have to apply it the right way at the right time. And 40 years old was a time for me to really think about that and put some things into action so that the latter half of my life is the best part of my life.
Absolutely, and I really appreciate that you say a couple of my favorite sayings, which is no is not an option and failure is not an option. It's just like you go get it, like you said, you plan for it, and you make it happen because it's your time at any time.
Absolutely.
How does that song set the tone for your new album that's coming up, Sing, Pray, Love?
I think Sing, Pray, Love is a lot more of the same. It's My Time was the perfect first single. I think it gave people an insight to where I am in life and in my thinking overall. And interestingly enough, Sing, Pray, Love, but just the title of the album is really a spin on the title of the movie, Eat, Pray, Love. And for anybody that's ever seen that movie, or anyone that hasn't seen the movie, I actually recommend that they go see it. It's a great movie. I'm a Julia Roberts fan, but the movie itself was just a great movie. It was a great story. But if you do know anything about the movie, you know that you have a woman who got to a point in her life that she got reflective And she started thinking about all of the things that she wanted to do that she did not do. A lot of what she didn't do was because she was afraid to go after it. A lot of what she didn't do, she did because she chose to play it safe rather than take risks. A lot of what she didn't do, she did because she felt like there were certain things that people expected her to do, and she never wanted to be careful. She never wanted to disappoint other people, but in that, she ended up disappointing herself. And so she made a decision at that point in life that she was going to live, and she was going to live and achieve the things that she wanted to do while she was alive so that she wouldn't come to the end of her life and never really live.
Wow. And I mean, for you in particular, I mean, you've been in the game for almost over 2 decades.
Yes.
Does all of that apply to you as you put together this album?
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Wow.
I've had great successes, and I'm grateful for the successes that I've had. But I feel like there's a whole part of me that has not yet been revealed, that's still untapped. And I feel like there are greater things in front of me than even the things that are behind me. I believe that the things that I've done to date really just laid the groundwork for what's to come. And I think that when you're talking about doing something that you've never done before, it comes in steps because you have to see what it is that you can do in order to believe that you can do better. And the things that I've done so far are more than I could have ever imagined or dreamed of in my entire life. But having achieved certain things at this point in life, it makes me believe wholeheartedly that there's much greater that I can do, and it's not too much. That really anything that I decide that I want to do, I can do it. So absolutely, that's where I'm at, and I'm going for it for the rest of my life.
Amen. And I feel like you giving me a sermon too that I could take with me beyond this phone call, especially when I listen to your album.
Thank you.
I was saying I write for a couple of LGBT publications, and I noticed you have B.Slade and Lance Bass in your music video. Are you friends with them? How did they get to become part of the video?
I've known both of them for many years. Lance I've known longer. Lance I actually met, I want to say in 1998 when I first came out as a solo artist. I met Lance when he was still singing with NSYNC, and I was still new as an artist, not new to the industry, but I'd just come out as an artist. And we've been really good friends for almost 15 years. We keep in touch.
Wow.
We've really been. You know, the thing about it is I have always been. I'm really. I think I give myself away through my music, but I've never been a person who has literally just kind of plotted what my life is. Most of my life, the people that I surround myself are really just the people that are around me every day. But there are a few people in this industry who I've been close to for a really long time, and we're really good friends. And you don't necessarily see us out and about because that's not the nature of our friendship. Like when my children, I want to say it was my son's, oh God, what birthday was that? I want to say it might have been when my son turned 10, and NSYNC was in town when I lived in Atlanta, and Lance knew that it was my son's birthday. Well, he did like he always did. He set my kids up with like the ultimate seats and backstage passes and the VIP treatment. But in addition to that, my son's birthday party was at a roller skating rink, like an hour outside of Atlanta. And Lance got in the car, drove an hour outside of Atlanta the day that NSYNC had a show, came to my son's 10th birthday party, and hung out there with the kids. And literally, the place became pandemonium. Like once the people that worked there and other kids realized that he was there, they got on their phones and started calling people and telling people Lance Bass is in the roller rink, and people started pulling up to the place, and he almost got mobbed, so we had to get him out of there. But that's the nature of our friendship. It's very personal. We hang with each other. It's not necessarily we hang out in public, but he's been around. My son is now 22, but Lance was at my son's 10th birthday party. So we've had a long-standing friendship and a mutual admiration for each other. And he literally approached me and told me many years ago that he was a fan, and he told me that NSYNC was out on the road, and the day that my record came out, he had the tour bus pull over and stop him at a record store, because that's when record stores actually still were functioning, and he bought 15 copies of Soul of a Woman and put it on every bus. They had about 15 buses that were traveling with him. He went and bought a copy of my CD and put it on every bus on the NSYNC tour. And that's how we met each other. He came and told me that story, and we've been friends ever since.
Wow, that's one of those ahas that, nobody would have guessed. R&B singer, Top Boy band member. That's very amazing about your friendship with B.Slade.
B.Slade, I met B.Slade many, many years ago when he was recording gospel music at Verity and Jive. And I was automatically smitten by his ability, not just his vocal ability, but as a music creator and a producer. When I heard him sing, I was aware that there was much more to him than him just being a talented singer. I realized that he's really a genius. And
Amen,
so
he is.
I met him somehow, I want to say, at a concert or something that I attended. And I introduced myself to him and let him know that I was really a big fan of his work. And that was many, many, many years ago. And we struck a friendship back then. So when I was living in Atlanta, whenever he would come to Atlanta, he would come to my house. I would cook. We would kick it. We would hang out. And so I've known him a long time. Again, too, it hasn't been something that people have seen us running around and going to events in the public. But literally, when I lived in Atlanta, when he came to Atlanta, he would come to church with me. He would come to my house and eat and then crash on the floor in the basement. Like, it was that kind of a relationship. And those relationships are the ones that I really cherish the most, because if nobody ever sees us together on a red carpet, or if no one ever sees us at a party together, we're real. We're real. And, we can have great moments at the house, eating barbecue or whatever, because that's who we are to each other. There's nothing contrived about it. So he's an amazing individual. And when I knew that we were going to shoot the video and I wanted to have cameos, I asked him if he would please just come and grace us with his presence. I believe that anywhere he is, there's an amazing atmosphere that follows because of the person that he is. And I've loved him for a very long time and love him even more today.
It must be great to have friends in the industry that is just outside or that goes beyond the business and that is just true to being what a friend is. That's an amazing story to hear.
It starts with real people. It starts with real people. So the industry really is just the frosting, but the friendship is the actual cake.
Oh, nice analogy there. I like that.
Thank you.
I want to ask you about just your entire career as it relates to the LGBT community, because I remember when a friend of mine came out, and when I went to the club, I loved your song, Kelly, but I got so sick of the drag queens performing your songs over and over and over.
Why?
I'm sure you got... Because because it was like, oh, here they go again, because your song was number one. So when your song is number one, that means the whole world knows your song. So I wanted to know, like, how soon did you know your presence was felt in the community, especially with powerful songs like "Friend of Mine"? You should have told me. He proposed when we wanted to become happy, and then now you got another anthem out, "It's My Time." When did you feel that presence, and what's your relationship been like with the community since?
I felt it immediately. I don't think there was ever a time when I didn't feel the support of the community. They let it be known right away that they loved me. And I remember very early on when I was going and doing like autograph signings again, I feel a little bit like a dinosaur because there was, back then you would go to a record store and you would do autograph signings and that kind of thing. There aren't any record stores anymore. But I just remember so many of the stories. I was relatable in that who I was as a person, I was really deemed an underdog and a bit of an outcast. And so to have success in this business, I did it when people said that people like me were unacceptable in this business because I was not svelte and slender and tall, and I wasn't light-skinned, and I wasn't what was considered a chanteuse, and I wasn't considered sexy. I was none of the things that people said an R&B singer was supposed to be. And so I went and fought the odds that were greatly against me, and I won. And so I feel like that the community connected to me because I represented just another faction or another segment of life or people who had to fight images and who had to I had to stand my ground to be received as a singer because people said that the image of me was unacceptable, and so it was relatable. And that's a lot of what I heard when they would come see me. When people from the community would come see me at autograph signings or at performances, they would hug me, and there was a lot of times tears. And I would tell people, please don't cry, because if you cry, I'm going to cry. So most of the time, we would just all end up crying together. But they would tell me how just my presence, not just the music, but just my presence in a place where people said I didn't belong, made them feel better about themselves. And I think that in and of itself is the blessings of what my job and my career and my responsibility is, that people actually have an opportunity to have their life spoken to or their life ministered to, even before I open up my mouth to sing, because me being in the place that I am already defies the odds. So then when I sing, again, that's just added, but I'm here. And I'm here, and I'm doing it, and I'm successful. And even if you don't want me here, I'm still here. And so that was something that was relatable to the community. You don't have to want me here, but I am, and I'm doing it.
Because it's your time. Let them know. Hey. That is so wonderful. Have you ever seen any performances, like from the drag community, to any Kelly Price song?
Yes. Are you kidding me? I love them.
Was one very memorable, or the very first one?
I think that they are probably the biggest compliment to a performer, to know that someone wants to recreate themselves, even if it's just for the performance, that someone wants to recreate themselves to appear like you, in image, or to sing your music. It's the most complimentary thing that any person could ever do, because what it says to me is that you think that there is something about me that is desirable. You think that I'm beautiful. You think that I think it's the most complimentary thing that anybody could ever do. I actually, a few years back, and I'm trying to think what year it was, I want to say it was the year that Kelly came out, or either the year before, which would have been when Tired was just a single. But I was in Atlanta doing promotions, and there was this, I forget the name of the establishment, but they do a regular show, and it was the anniversary of the show. What is the name of the radio host? Miss Sophia in Atlanta.
Oh, yes.
And it was the anniversary of the show that they do there on a regular basis. And so I went that night. And nobody really knew I was going to be there. I think Miss Sophia knew that I was going to be there, and I had a couple of friends that were there. I told them, I think I want to come through. Can you just, arrange so that I can kind of slip in and grab a seat? And so I grabbed my seat. I came in, and Miss Sophia was on the stage, and there was somebody there that night who performed as me a Kelly Price song, and it was actually a tribute because the word had gotten out that I was going to be there. So they performed the Kelly Price tribute to me while I was in the audience, and it was just the most amazing thing. There were tears. Again, I am the biggest. I'm a tough project chick that cries on a dime, and the tears were flowing. And I went on the stage, and I was hugging everybody and crying my makeup off. And as the people were just walking around once they realized where I was seated, and they came and they hugged me. I had a couple of people whisper in my ear, like, things that they had been going through and how they wanted to kill themselves, but how just me and my music and the stands that I've taken down through the years have just influenced them and so much, and literally caused them to want to live and not allow themselves to feel like they're not worthy of life. And so I'm grateful. I feel like God has blessed me with this gift, and he gave it to me so that I could be a voice to and for people who feel like they don't have one. And in truth, the LGBT community has been a great part of that. They connected with me immediately, and I'm grateful that they saw in me somebody who decided that they wouldn't allow themselves to be stigmatized or marginalized, but I was going to stand up and take the place that I felt like I deserved in life because I was talented enough to be there. So my image, or because somebody felt like I wasn't skinny enough or pretty enough, should have nothing to do with it. And it's been a love relationship down through the years.
Absolutely. I just want to say thank you for connecting with us through your music, and then even your appreciation for us connecting with you. And so with that said, before we go, we want to further connect with Miss Kelly Price. So tell us more about when this album is coming out, and if you're doing any stops to promote it, shout that out.
Yes, the album Sing, Pray, Love Volume 1 will be out on June the 3rd. That's Tuesday, June the 3rd. I'm really excited about it. And it is the first of 3 volumes. Volume 1 is Sing, Volume 2 is Pray, and that will be a compilation of inspirational songs, not just gospel songs, but songs that are written and performed with the intention to inspire and encourage, much like It's My Time. So inspirational and gospel music. Volume 2 will be Pray. Volume 3, Sing, Pray, Love, Volume 3 will be Love, and that will be an entire CD of collaboration. The entire CD will be collaboration. And so I'm excited. We'll be rolling out these next 3 albums over the course of the next 2 to 3 years, and so we'll be working them. And of course, we're gonna have our club remixes because we can't do that. We can't do these joints without dance remixes. And I'm really looking forward to being able to get out there, and get it in. What I do love about It's My Time is that every version of it is going to be a dance mix because the original version is an up-tempo. So every time we hear It's My Time, we're going to cut a rug. So I love that.
That's right.
But there's great stuff coming on this album. I think that it is the best merging of Kelly Price all grown up with Kelly Price brand new in 1998, Soul of a Woman. You get my new perspective. You get the 40-year-old perspective. I'm going to live while I'm alive with the raw energy of Soul of a Woman, and so I think that's the best that I could do for anybody at this point in my life when it comes to the music.
Right, because Soul of a Woman is classic.
Yes, sir.
Wow. Well, I just want to say I'm excited about your music. We're all excited about your music, and we're glad you're back with it. And I hope to get to talk with you soon. And before we go, I just want to say congratulations and good luck.
Thank you. Thank you so much. We have to make sure that whatever city you're in, if we're doing an album release party, that you're able to come and maybe get some footage and we chat a little bit there.
Oh, absolutely. Thank you, Kelly. I'm in New York, so I'm sure you're going to do your promo in New York.
We are in New York. We're in New York release week. In fact, we're doing I don't have the location, but I do know that we've already reserved Monday, June the 2nd for an album release party in Manhattan. So please make sure that my office and whoever your contact is for having set up this call, that they make sure that you know that we haven't released the location yet, but Monday, June the 2nd, the night before the record comes out, we're having an album release party in New York.
You made my day. Thank you. I am going to be there.
Yes, I look forward to meeting you in person. I really look forward to meeting you in person. All right?
Oh, my goodness. I am too.
Can you shout out my homegirl, Davon Madison? I've known her since elementary school, my entire Davon. Do you know Davon is the CEO
She's
of
a promoter, right? Yes. Shout out. I mean, well, you know what? I haven't met her yet.
Yes, you should meet her. She's an amazing. Yes, I want to shout out my homegirl, Davon Madison. We've known each other since elementary school. We down like 4 flat. That's my homegirl. And it's crazy because we hadn't seen each other in years, and we reconnected several years ago. And I didn't even know that she had come out, but she had came out. And now she's the CEO of Dollhouse. And but like we were tight when we were kids. Sleepovers at each other's house, the whole 9. So shout out to my girl Davon Madison and to all of everybody at Dollhouse that's doing it big. I love them. Those are my folks.
I've been following them too, so they're a big deal, and I can't wait to meet them now that I'm here because I just moved here from Chicago, so I can't wait to meet them.
Well, actually, Davon wherever we are on for our album release party, Davon will be there, because even if it wasn't about Dollhouse, we keep in touch, period. So she already hit me up a few days ago. She's like, look, if you're doing a party, you know you better make sure I know, so I'm there. So that's my people.
I know that's right.
Yes,
well,
absolutely.
if I don't see her in the next 2 weeks, I'm definitely meeting her at your release party.
Yes, you definitely want to connect with her. She's good people.
Yes.
Hey, everybody, it's your girl, Kelly Price, and I am rolling with my folks at the G-List Society, so I hope you are too.
You are listening to an exclusive interview from the G-List Society. G-List Society. Featuring your host, Wadey G. Check out this one and more at www.glist society.com. Also, check us out on Facebook and Twitter at the G-List Society.